Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Today's discussion is RV detailing pricing, how and why we price the way we do. So on this particular RV, you'll see that before and after spot up there. The before side is real flat and dull and hazy and chalky. So that's oxidation. And that's really the first part to pricing is current condition of the RV. Typically we'll get a phone call from a customer and they'll ask how much to detail my RV. You need to know what year, make, and length and model is your RV. The second and most important part is what's the current condition. Generally speaking, people will say, oh, it's in excellent condition, everything's good. And then we dive a little deeper. Is it hazy? Is it cloudy? Is it reflective? Is it clear? Is it glossy? Is it shiny? Or is it somewhere in between? Then generally we'll start to hear what the condition we were asking about really is. And as a detailer, you've got to do that. You've got to really be very specific about what you're asking. And as a customer, it's important to be specific about what you're telling your detailer. This RV has been buffed and polished. It's clear, shiny, reflective, and glossy. There's no more oxidation left in the surface of this fiberglass. Generally, people do not call us when their RV is in this condition. They generally call us when it's looking dirty, faded, hazy, dull, cloudy, and oxidized. Sometimes we'll do RVs that are in really what we consider very good condition, which means there's a very light amount of oxidation. And so anyway, just finding out those questions really is the first key to pricing. This particular RV has heavy oxidation just above the driver's window. You can see this tan RV has actually turned completely white from heavy oxidation and probably some heavy water or hard water spotting as well. In this case, we have to use what's called a rotary polisher, which is the buffer I'm using there in the shot. Down below, you can kind of barely see him, but Zontis is doing an orbital polishing behind me to provide a good finish and a high gloss shine after I remove the oxidation up top here with the rotary polisher. So I'd say about 70% of the RVs we do need both of those machines to get them back to a clear, glossy, reflective, polished appearance and protected. And so typically pricing includes both of those machines being used and the time that it's required to do that. On some occasions, we can use just this orbital polisher that I'm showing down here. And in those cases, this particular coach with that machine with light to maybe medium oxidation typically is an 8-hour job. If we go back to the prior RV where I was showing you me using the rotary and Zontis using the orbital behind me, that is typically a 16-hour job. So pricing really when you call us is based on our expectation of time, difficulty, which machines we're going to use, and how much product it's going to take when all things are considered. And then we have a number we base our pricing off of. Per hour, depending on the machine we use. And that's not just covering the per hour money, it's covering the tool use, the materials that we expect to use with those tools, and that's all part of estimating the price of a job. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions about pricing in your area or, figuring out how to price your services if you're a detailer, those are some things to consider. If you are a detailer and you live in an area where pricing is dramatically less, you may still be able to get more in your area if you can provide the skill level and the ability to do more than what someone who's charging cheaper prices may be doing, which that's one of the other things we run into. A lot of times we'll get a call and the customer will say, wow, that seems like a lot, either based on their expectation or their understanding, or maybe their experience with pricing from someone who's either doing a lower quality service or within a different state where maybe pricing is cheaper based on labor for that state or reduced expenses for either that individual or in that state where they live. So all things considered, there's lots of variables to pricing. A, quality and experience of the detailer you're hiring. B, level of oxidation needing to be removed prior to the finished detail. And C, what kind of environmental pollutants and or oxidation buildup is typical for RVs in your area. So these all play into it. In Washington in particular, we deal with lots of heavily oxidized RVs that haven't been done for, let's say, 1 to 15 or 20 years. We also have a very heavy buildup of things like pollen and occasionally tree pitch because of all the beautiful forest and trees in our area. So when you're pricing your service, you've got to really think about all these things. We're a mobile service that's located near Seattle, Washington, and we serve a wide range of clients from as far north as Everett, Washington, all the way down to Olympia, Washington, and everywhere in between, as well as out to the Peninsula, Gig Harbor area. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps you out. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them. Thanks.